Hello! There's still a little bit of construction going on in the background, so I hope you can bear with it. I think they're almost done for the day. They usually clock out at like 4. But you might hear some like hammering and stuff. Oh my god, hi! Hello! 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 Welcome everybody! Hi, my name is Monet. Before me now, second generation Padawan! You groovy, funky, retro, cutie, Monet! Hello! I see a lot of you are here already. Makes me very happy. Hi! How am I feeling today? I'm feeling pretty fine. I'm feeling alright. I'm feeling... Oh no, this is a little too high pitched. There we go. I'm feeling good! I'm feeling alright! It's kinda hot out though. Yeah! No, I want to say thank you! Hello everybody. I've been meaning to do a stream like this for a while. Cause like, here and there, I've like kinda talked about like how to get into DJing and how to get into basics, but I think the last time I ever like really in-depth talked about like, you know, how to DJ kind of stuff was like literally in the middle of like a Minecraft stream like a year ago. So like, I don't expect anybody to like have really like listened to that, you know? Like, you know, how are you supposed to find that kind of stuff, right? Hello, hi. And so recently, right, we had Tabemono Fest. Tabemono Fest 2! Tabemono Fest versus Any Clover, this VCAT Summer 2025 edition. As a lot of you may know, some of you may not know, Tabemono Fest was an event that I started because I wanted to have kind of like a way to help promote the community and also kind of like elevate the community, right? To help you guys kind of like learn a new skill, to have a place to practice it, to have people to practice it with, you know, to have like something new to get into, and then to give you a stage to perform on, right? And to kind of help you get into new things. So the very first Tabemono Fest was really successful for that. It was an event last year where it was a lineup of all Tabemono DJs, and I want to say like 90% of them were brand new to DJing. We had like 2 DJs, you know, that were already pretty experienced, but like everybody else was like basically like brand spanking new to DJing, right? And when you get started with DJing, you don't usually have like a lot of an audience, right? Like, for example, like when I started DJing, I just DJed to my friends on Discord, right? Like, I just streamed it and just kind of like DJed to my friends. But I've noticed that after every single Tabemono Fest, right? Everybody gets a little inspired. Just like, maybe I kind of want to try this, right? Maybe I kind of want to try this. And I think there's something that you should have noticed by now, right? If you have been interested in this kind of stuff, is that like, you notice how everybody is kind of able to pick it up pretty quickly. Like, you ever just kind of think, like, oh, if all these people have been able to pick this up, why can't I? You know? I say that, but yet I still don't drive. You know? That's what I try to tell myself, to psych myself up to like get my driver's license. But then, you know, here we are. I'm always telling myself, like, if 16-year-olds can drive a car, you know, why can't I? Anyway, I think you get what I'm trying to say, you know? I think you get what I'm trying to say. You know, is that like, there's a bajillion DJs out there, and DJing is honestly hotter than ever right now. It is a really, like, it's a really trending hobby, really trending thing to get into. Because it's fun. Honestly, it's fun. And it's like, it's not something that you have to get into for money. It's not something that you have to get into for like likes or anything. You can just do it for fun. Some of like the DJs that I look, you know, up to the most are people that like don't play in menus. They just play in their rooms to friends, and that's it. Like, and that's all it has to be. Or if you want to take it all the way to the top and you want to, you know, play at the next hottest music festival, you can do that, right? Like, can you pick up chicks if you DJ? You can, but I'm gonna be real. Being a DJ is like sometimes a little bit of a red flag. Like, it's not. It's probably not what you should use. You know? Like, I'm gonna be real. It can be a little bit of a red flag sometimes. You know? Like, it can attract the hoes, but it like it depends. You know, it depends. It can also scare the hoes. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, the thing is, like, being a DJ can be so varied, right? You can be a nice guy DJ, you can also be a scumbag DJ. It's wildly different, right? It is wildly different, right? So, like, yeah, you can get chicks DJing, but you can also repel chicks DJing, you know what I mean? Like, it all depends on you, right? But you probably shouldn't be doing this for the women. Yo, can't see you, welcome! It's nice seeing a lot of DJs in the chat. So, I don't know, I figured I would have a stream like this, because it's, you know, it's been a while since we really talked about this, and it's just kind of like, I was playing around, like, preparing a DJ set last night, and so I just kind of thought, like, man, it's been a while, you know, since I kind of, like, talked about this. Now, I want to say, heads up, I am by no means an expert, right? I've only been DJing for like 2 years, right? Like almost 2 years. No, about 2 years. Yeah. I've only been DJing for about 2 years, right? And like I feel like I'm doing an alright job, right? But there's definitely, it's one of those things where you can always improve, right? And you can always do more, right? There's a video I want to start off with, though. Give me a second. Hold on, let me see if I can get it. Anyway, Anyway, so today I just kind of want to go over like the basics, like how you can get started, like how to get into it without any money, or like how to get into it if you do want to spend money, like what kind of controllers you should get, like the basics of how everything works, you know, blah 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 blah. So I first learned how to DJ from one of my friends who gave me their hand-me-down controller. One time I was making a big playlist, and one of my DJ friends was like, "Hey, you're basically DJing." And I was like, "Yeah, you know, I've always wanted to get into it, but like, I never knew how to start, right?" So then they gave me their hand-me-down controller, their old controller, and this thing has seen some wear and tear. But it's become my trusty controller now. I could probably get something a lot nicer, right? A lot better, but so far it works, so it's fine. Anyway, I kind of want to get you started by showing you a little video. Let me see if I can get it up here. Hold on. Oh my god, I have so much shit on here. Come on. Okay. Sorry for sudden real human on screen. Sorry. Sorry for real human being on screen. Sorry, don't get scared. Don't get scared. So this is a DJ and online person named Elijah. A lot of my friends kind of like really, what would the word be? Like preach the gospel of this guy because he has a motto that he sticks by a lot. That is, if you love music, you should learn how to DJ, right? I really like the perspective he has on it, right? So I wanted to show it.
When you think of the visual of a DJ, you think of hands in the air festival. But what I'm
Can you
talking
hear
about
it?
is DJing.
Can you hear it okay? Hold on. Let me see if I can turn it up a little louder. Hold on. That's a little quiet.
When you think of the visual of
Is this
a
better?
DJ, you think of hands in the air festival. But what I'm talking about here is DJing, playing music for yourself, collecting, creating, and view that as something that's in your kitchen, in your living room, in your bedroom. This is just about the love of music. If you love music, you should learn how to DJ. That was my original square. And combining with Beatport, we're going, if you love music, you're already a DJ. What is a DJ? My definition is one, and this is
I like his
90%
definition a lot.
A collector and creator of music for yourself. Number two, that, but for others. And I don't mean the public, I just mean for you, your friends, your family, people that you share playlists with, people that you share songs with. That is like 95%. And then the last 5% is thinking about public. So that's what I'd consider like the composition of DJing. Disconnect DJing from a DJ. So DJing is collecting, creating music for yourself, playing it, enjoying it, maybe recording it, sharing those mixes with your friends. And being a DJ is more like a career, a performance, and something that you're selling for other people. So playing in clubs, festivals, playing worldwide, maybe having a radio show, having a kind of public aesthetic. So disconnect those two things. So same equivalent to cooking for yourself and being a chef, or being a runner in a running club, or being an athlete. So Elijah, Beatport, signing off.
That's it. Pretty short, huh? Pretty short video. Just wanted to show you guys that. Because I think it has a pretty good definition, right? Like, the majority of DJing, is just playing music that you like, you know? The majority of it really is just kind of like playing music that you like and, kind of just setting a vibe, right? The rest of it is performance. Yeah, like Araver says, DJing is just saying cheers at the right time, basically. Like, it's just another form of self-expression, you know? So like, if you like music, if you like jamming out to stuff, if you like sharing music, then it's probably a lot easier than you think. If you've ever made a playlist, in your life, you kind of are already halfway there, you know? Now, like, DJing doesn't have to be just dance music. It doesn't have to be just party music. It can be... I've done an ambient DJ set where I, like, opened up with a piano track and, like... It doesn't have to, like... It doesn't even have to be blended, right? You can do, like, radio-style DJing where, like, you know, you play one song, you fade out, and then you just fade into the beginning of the next song. You know, like, it doesn't have to be anything crazy, right? It can really kind of be anything you want, right? And that's kind of what's fun. But yeah, basically, the most important part is just, it's sharing music, right? It's just kind of sharing music and just kind of having fun. That's the most important part, right? Especially if you're doing this as a hobby, right? Now, I talked to some of my really experienced DJ friends. I asked for some tips. One of the main things they mentioned to me, and I do agree with this, is that when you're starting out, you shouldn't really worry that much about technique. You should just have fun mixing song A and song B, right? Like, you really shouldn't worry about technique that much. It's just more of like, just to have fun with it and just like put the songs together, right? You don't really have to think too much about all the crazy stuff. And I feel like a mistake that a lot of people do, and I am guilty of this sometimes too, is like sometimes you focus too much on technique, right? And not enough on just picking good songs, right? Like, cause like DJing is like 90% just about selection. If you ever go to like a DJ thing, sometimes you'll hear people be like, "Oh, selector," you know, like it's just kind of like a DJ joke of like, you know, you're selecting the music, right? Like that's kind of it, right? Yeah, you'll just hear like selector, like stuff like that. It's just kind of about picking music, right? If you've ever like hung out with your friends and or like you're in the car or something and somebody hands you the aux cable, you know, and you pick songs for the pure purpose of just like picking stuff that is gonna get everybody like hyped up in the car, right? That's basically DJing, you know? That's basically DJing. Like when you're hanging out at home and you're just like, you know, on YouTube Music or whatever, or like just like picking out songs, you know, you just play whatever, right? Yeah, iPhone DJ. Yeah, basically DJing is like the fancy version of getting past the aux cable, right? So, oh, hold on, my throat is really dry. So basically, that's kind of it, right? How I started at the very beginning of DJing is I literally went through all of my music and I just picked out what I thought. Like, I made a playlist in my foobar just called Bangers. And any song that I thought was a banger, I just put it in there. Like, that's how I started. Because the reality is that, like, if you want to DJ a lot, you need a lot of music. Like, you need a ton of music. You'll notice that, like, when I first started doing a lot of DJ streams, I was playing a lot of the same songs. And I'm trying to kind of, like, play more new music every time this time. But yeah, literally all I did at the beginning was, like, I opened up my foobar, which is where I have all my music, right? Just made a playlist, called it Bangers. And just anything that I thought was a banger, right? I just put it in the playlist. And then, I took everything in... Let me guess, you're using Spotify. Do you know who you're talking to? Do you know who you're talking to? Haven't you ever heard me go on a fucking rant about how much I hate Spotify? Get out of here! Get out of here! Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah. Do I use Beatport? I don't, but I have used it before. Don't you dare assume that I use Spotify. I hate that shit. I've never downloaded Spotify in my life. I've used Beatport before, honestly, it's not bad. So if you don't know what Beatport is like a subscription service where you can get music from it rather than just like downloading or collecting all your own music. Beatport kind of like supplies the music, right? And honestly, there's some really good stuff on there. Right? But that's not something you gotta worry about for right now, right? Yeah, it's like a streaming service, yeah, for DJs basically. Yeah. But you don't really have to worry about that right now, right? But I do want to give the heads up, right? That like I know we have a lot of DJs in the chat. I just want you all to like I know we can all be that person in the room that like when somebody's a DJ, right? You know, we can all be in the corner and be like with our arms crossed and be like, I can DJ too, you know? So I just want everybody, first of all, to just kind of be conscious of like, you know, this is kind of just like a beginner lesson. Like, we're not gonna get into the crazy shit. This is basically DJing 101 for babies, right? For babies, and I might make some mistakes or I might do things in a way different from you, right? That's okay. You know, everybody has their own way, you know, that they do stuff, right? Right. So, I want to talk about the very basics. So, what do you need to DJ? Honestly, all you need is music and software. There has been people out there that have DJ'd with Audacity. It's not ideal, but you can do it, right? Basically, anything that will allow you to blend two songs together, you can use it to DJ, right? However, the most like, how can I explain? Like the most well-known. Here, let me get over to my lesson screen. Actually, hold on. Hold on, give me a second. I like set up a bunch of shit and then I haven't been like putting it right. Boogaloo, I appreciate it, but please mind that this is my stream, you know? Please don't make me time you out. Like, you know, this is all shit that's gonna get talked about, you know? Just, you know, don't be that guy, please. Okay, so, sorry, I'm just putting my stuff in the corner here. Alright! Oh, there's no music here. Hold on. There we go. Hi, Aya! Awaya? Hi, Alias. Oh my god. Anyway, what's up? I've got a little bit of a hand cam here for later when I show you some of the basics of how to use stuff, right? But I wanted to talk to you about some of the software that you can start out with. Because the truth is, you actually don't need a controller. You don't need to spend any money to start out DJing, right? You don't need any money. I started doing this completely for free, right? So I want to talk to you about some of the software you can use. There's more stuff, but I'm going to teach you about the big ones. You know, the ones that you're going to see really often. So you have... Hold on. The big three, as people call them, are Rekordbox, Serato, and Traktor Pro. So I use Rekordbox. What you're seeing in the corner over there, that's Rekordbox. I have a lot of friends that use Serato, and I have a lot of friends that use Traktor. All three of these are totally fine. They basically do the same shit. They have like different features, right? Some of them have like different features, but for the most part, it's like the same difference between like, I don't know, Clip Studio Paint, Photoshop, maybe that's not a good example, but you get what I'm saying, right? Like, they all do the same thing. They all do the same thing. The buttons are basically all in the same place, right? It's like Pepsi and Coke, right? It's just kind of like a preference kind of thing, right? However, all three of these are paid software that you do need a license for. When you get a controller, or rather, you may be asking like, all right, well, how do I choose, right? How do I choose? The choice will probably be made for you when you get a controller. For example, my controller only works with Rekordbox. So I use Rekordbox because I have a Rekordbox controller. Sometimes you might get another controller or something like that. And maybe it's a Serato only controller, right? Or maybe you get a controller and it's a Tractor only controller. Whatever you get, honestly, is fine. Whatever you get is fine, right? Like I said, though, the choice will usually be made kind of for you. In terms of that, and usually when you buy a controller, when you buy like the DJ decks, which is like this stuff, right, the hardware, it comes with the license, so you don't actually have to like buy the software. It comes with it, right? And most of these softwares you can usually use for free. It's just like, you know, like kind of like free trial where it's limited what you can do with it. Like I think with like the free version of Rekordbox, you can't record anything. You can't like do specific things, right? However, I want to tell you about. I know a lot of you are interested in learning from basically complete scratch, right? And so I want to tell you about Virtual DJ. Here's the link, right? Yeah, it should be free if you purchase the unit. A lot of DJs and a lot of people will tell you about they'll tell you about Virtual DJ because it's free and it's basically like mouse and keyboard DJing. You can DJ without without any controller, right? You can just like DJ with your mouse and keyboard, right? Here, I want to show you a little bit what Virtual DJ looks like, right? So this is Virtual DJ. As you can see, it looks like my software in the corner, right? It basically looks exactly the same. It basically works exactly the same, you know? It does the same things. It has most of the same features. In fact, like honestly, Virtual DJ has some nice features that like even my software doesn't have, right? Like Virtual DJ has this thing where like you can separate vocals from a track. Like, so if you wanted to do like a cool mashup or like a cool remix or something like that, like it makes that kind of thing a little bit easier. It's a really legit software, right? I know the name Virtual DJ kind of makes it sound like it's gonna be like, you know, Fisher Price DJ Babies, you know, software, right? But it's legit. It's pretty good. It's worth playing with, and you can fully start DJing with Virtual DJ, and it's free. You don't need to have a controller. You don't need to have anything. My recommendation, and I think the recommendation of a lot of DJs, is if you want to like dip your toes into this and you're not ready to spend money, then you should try Virtual DJ. And this is kind of a hot take, but I am one of those people that believe that you should play around with this kind of stuff first before you impulse buy a controller just for funsies, right? Right? Because like, maybe it's just me. I don't like it when people just like buy shit, you know, and then just like impulse drop like $500 or some shit like that, you know, on a controller, and then they kind of start like that. You know, it's kind of the same as like people that have never like streamed before, and they'll like buy, you know, a $1,000 HD camera, shit like that. You know what I mean? Like when you buy the most expensive gear and you haven't even started, right? So it is my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion, right? That like you like just Virtual DJ is free, right? It works exactly the same as like all the other DJ software, and you can just mess around and see if you like it. If you do like it, then you can start then you can start like, you know, don't be the DJ equivalent of the rich kid VTubers that quit after a month, basically. Basically, because like DJ equipment, it can be cheap, but it's not. You know what I mean? Like, and it's a big piece of hardware to spend a lot of money on if you're like not sure, right? So virtual DJ, I completely recommend it. There's a link again. My suggestion is download it, start playing around, press some buttons, see what everything does. And I'm gonna go over how everything works on my software, and just like be aware that it basically works the same way on virtual DJ, right? Yeah, it allows you to like everything, like you can customize a lot of stuff, right? It's definitely worth playing with. Once you get your toes wet, you know, with virtual DJ, right? Then you can like mess around with getting some controllers or something like that, right? And then you have to start worrying about record box, auto tractor, blah 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 blah, right? But these are the big three. If you start DJing, you will start like hearing these names a lot. Would it be much harder compared to physical slider, especially? No, it's not gonna be very hard, honestly. It's not gonna be very hard. Migrating libraries from virtual DJ to record box is really painful, though. Yeah, it's probably worth noting that, you know. I like Mix 2. It's free. I see. It shouldn't be hard though. Like moving from like desktop, like basically from like virtual DJ to like a controller, it shouldn't be that hard because you'll kind of already know what things do, right? And at that point, it's just a matter of getting used to your hardware that you got, right? So let me try and so before everybody else starts like getting into, oh, what controller should I get and stuff like that, let's talk about some kind of like what different controllers can look like, right? So what I use, the controller I use isn't made anymore because it's old. But you'll notice that most controllers basically look the same, right? Most controllers look the same. Let me get some sort of pointer. Hold on. To kind of like show you here. Alright, I've got this big carrot. I'm gonna use this carrot. The point of the carrot is gonna show you kind of like where stuff is, right? So here, let me make this nice and big. Oh, my mouse is like being really choppy. Hold on. Okay. So, this is gonna be the basic anatomy of a DJ controller. Can you fix a broken controller? Yeah, it's electronic, so you can fix it. Mine, for example, the headphones port is busted. If you want to fix it though, it's kind of like fixing any other electronic. You probably need some soldering experience. You probably will need some experience like opening up electronics and things like that, right? But you can fix them. You can fix them, right? They are nice pieces of hardware. So like they are well built, right? Anyway, this is like your standard. A lot of controllers that you're gonna see are basically gonna be built like this. This is specifically a DDJ 400 by Pioneer DJ. Pioneer, also now called Alpha Theta, is like one of the biggest brands for DJ equipment. There's other brands, stuff like Hercules, Newmark, Denon, stuff like that, Audio Technica, yeah, all that stuff. But like, this is like, you're gonna see a lot of Pioneer DJ stuff because they make a lot of it, right? So this is exactly the same one I use, so I'm gonna kind of teach you about it, and then I'm gonna also go on the hand cam and like kind of show you like hands-on, like what happens if you twist this knob, what happens if you twist that knob, what happens if you do this, what happens if you do that, right? So basically, this is like a basic, like not a vinyl one or anything like that, right? You can get crazy and DJ with vinyls, like old school style. And even those are gonna look pretty similar to this. Basically, you have what is called like the deck, which are these parts, right? Some people call them CDJs. When you get like into the bigger controllers, they're just called like, if you just get this part, it's like a CDJ, right? This part in the middle is the mixer, right? Yeah, these are like the turntables, basically, right? This part is the mixer, right? A beginner DJ controller is gonna have 2 tracks. You see 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Each one of these corresponds to, you know, this is basically one song, this is the other song, right? And so this controls the songs that you have loaded on each track. You have track 1 and 2. When you get into bigger controllers, like the club standard ones will have 4 tracks. And then sometimes you'll even see stuff with 6 tracks, right? So it can get pretty complex, right? But we're just gonna start with like the 2 tracks, because anything that you kind of learn from here, the same applies when you have 4 or 6 tracks. You just have more, right? You just have more of it, right? So, let's look at track 1, right? Right there. So, when I started DJing, right, I use this little knob at the top to select music. Like, you can like spin it around, right? To select music. This is a trim. It kind of controls like the overall volume of the output of your music. Then you have the highs. It controls the highs. These are the equalizer knobs, right? They have the highs, the mids, and the lows, right? That controls, obviously, the high, the mid, and the lows of your music. This is a filter knob, right? Whenever you hear, like, you know, DJs do, like, kind of like a cool, like, pass filter, right? It's like that. The cues make it so that, for example, say on your, like, mix, this song is quiet, right? But you want to hear it on your headphones so that you can tell when the song is coming up or when you should blend it. If you press the cue button, you can hear it on your headphones, but it won't play on the speakers, right? And I'll explain a little bit more. These will make more sense, you know, when I'm actually showing you the controller and a little bit hands-on, right? These are basically like the volume sliders, right? You're gonna use these a lot for, the volume, really, like how loud you want the song to be, like, so for example, if I'm like playing a song on the 2nd track, I'll usually have this up all the way up, right? And then this all the way down, because it's not playing on the speakers, right? But then I want to mix this song. I'll turn this one up, and then I'll turn this one down. Or maybe I'll have both up, you know, if I want to play both songs at the same time. Does that kind of make sense, right? So that's kind of like the basics of how these buttons work. This right here is the crossfader. You can kind of use this to go between both songs, right? You can play with this. I don't use it a lot, but a lot of people use it a ton. And if you get into stuff like scratching, then you'll become very familiar with this guy, right? These knobs on the side here are the general like headphones volume, right? This one controls how loud the cue is on my headphones compared to the master volume of the DJ, of like the DJ set. And this is kind of like the levels too. These just kind of control the volume of the headsets, right? Yeah, like old school DJs or like DJs that do a lot of scratching, they'll play around with this crossfader a lot. And this on the side too, it's kind of just also like filter, beat effects, stuff like that, right? I don't use a lot of these buttons very often. Well, some of them. So this is just kind of like the master level. Mine is usually up at max, right? Things like that. You have the beat effects, which I'm gonna be honest, I don't use these that much, but these are the arrows to help you navigate through them. You have the FX select. Your software will have a lot of effects like echo, reverb, delay, phaser, blah 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 blah, right? You can use these buttons to select through them. Personally, I usually just like click on the software. You know, I just use my mouse but it's up to you. The ones I use a lot are these guys right here. This is like the effect. So for example, if I want to do an echo or something, say I want to do an echo on track 1. I make sure that this little switch is set to track 1. I'll usually have this knob right here. This is like how much of the effect you have. I'll usually have it all the way at minimum. I'll press the button and then like, you know, the echo will start, right? And then I'll move it around. And I'll show you how all of this stuff works in action in a second too. As far as this part goes, right? You have kind of like the beat adjustments. I don't really mess with these a lot. I'm kind of scared of these buttons, to be honest. So I don't mess with these too much. But this is just kind of like you can adjust the beat of stuff, kind of like where you start, right? You can do some really cool stuff with these. I just this is like the part of the controller that I'm still kind of like learning myself, right? You can kind of like you can have set cues and like cue loops and stuff like that. This is the beat sync button, very contested amongst DJs. Some try-hard DJs will tell you that using beat sync is cheating. Personally, I don't give a fuck. Personally, this is the drunk DJ button. When you get really drunk and you don't give a fuck and you just want, you know, you just want the controller to do the, you know, to do the work for you, right? You can press this button, right? You can press this button. This button will make it so that both of your songs have the same BPM, and it'll basically like match them for you. It's kind of like cruise control. Yeah. I personally use it very often, right? It's not necessarily the auto like button. It's not. I wouldn't call it the grok of DJs. But it does. You know, the beat sync is very, very useful. For me, it's a button I use a lot because it does make things easier, right? You don't have to use it. Like I said, like some DJs will swear that, you know, that you're not good if you use this. Some DJs, it's the only thing they use. Some DJs will go back and forth, right? It's up to you, right? It's up to you. It's up to you. This is the... How does it know what the BPM is? Your software will analyze the BPM of your music. So you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. Well, you do, but that's a different conversation. Usually you don't have to, unless your software like incorrectly analyzes your music. It should know the correct BPM. However, it doesn't always. Sometimes it fucks up the BPM, but that's a different conversation. But yeah, there's stuff that tells you. But your software will tell you like the BPM. It'll analyze it, and I'll show you all how that works in a second. This is like the basic. Here, let me see if I can get the desktop audio going. Hold on. You hear that scratch? That is what it sounds like when you know, scratch on these with your fingers, right? These spin. You can use them to like go through your library. You can use them to scratch. Scratching is a little hard. I haven't gotten very good at it yet, so I don't use these very much. You know, but you can have a lot of fun with those. Some of the most important buttons right here, the play button and the Q button. Play button and pause button does what you think it does. It's a very classic drunk DJ move to accidentally press these, and then you'll be like, you know, the drop is about like, you know, it's about to drop, right? The bass is about to drop, and you'll be like drunk as hell, having a blast, right? And then accidentally with like your elbow, you hit like the pause button, and then there's silence, and you're just like, oh fuck. It happens. It happens. It's very common. It has happened to me many times, right? Or like sometimes you'll see in like, I don't know, like boiler room videos, or like maybe not boiler room, but like stuff where it's like DJ shows, right? And you'll see like, you know, there'll be like somebody that wants to come up and like say hi to their DJ friend as they're DJing, and they're like, "Oh my god, hi!" and they give them a hug, and then like their elbow will hit either like this or like the pause button by accident, you know? Yeah. If it ever happens to you, it's fine. It was on purpose. Nobody will notice, okay? Just, I mean, somebody will notice, but it doesn't matter, right? Like it's on purpose, you know. Just pretend it was on purpose, right? The cue button, you can set like cues of where you want the song to start, right? Like you can cue it up, right? And you can press that button to automatically play from that point. This can be really handy. I use the cue button a lot. Then you have, these are basically programmable pads, right? If you get a controller, you want to get one probably with at least 4. But you know, 6 is a pretty good 6 is a pretty good amount in my opinion. You can use these for all sorts of different stuff. For example, so here you have the hot cue, you have the beat loop, you have the beat jump, and the sampler, right? Oh, these are 8. Sorry, I can't count. Sorry. Sorry. Come on. Sorry. I think you all should know I'm dog shit at math. I know. Math hard. Math hard. This is why I'm a VTuber, not an engineer. Okay. Alright, so you have these ones here. So the hot cue, you can like, I'll show you later, but like you can set like cue points on your song, so you can like basically like label parts of the song, and you can program these to correspond to those points, and then that way you can like jump automatically to them. So say you want to like start from the middle of a song, you set a cue point and you program it to a button, and you can start from there, right? Without having to scroll through the song. Same with the beat loop. You can just kind of like program it to do stuff like that. The beat loop makes it so that your software will like pick like, you know, a number of measures in your song, like a number of bars in your song, and it will repeat them. It will loop them, right? This comes in handy really well sometimes when you want to mix out of things, or like mix into things, or you want to get kind of crazy with it. The beat jump is kind of the same, except it'll just kind of like jump a certain amount of bars, right? And these buttons will kind of be like, you know, 1 bar, 4 bars, 8 bars, 16 bars, you know, 32 bars, stuff like that, right? When you assign pads to the cue parts of the song, is that per song? Yeah. I'll show you in a bit. And then you have the sampler. So say if you want to have an air horn or whatever the fuck, you know, you can just program it to one of these and then like spam it. I never use it personally. I've been wanting to, but I never use it. I never use the sampler. I've been meaning to, because you could probably do some really stupid shit, you know? Right? Yeah, you could have a sampler that just says like moo, you're like, that's it, or whatever you want. And then this thing at the side here, this is a tempo slider. So this just adjusts the tempo, the BPM of your song. My rule, personally, this is a rule that I was taught by another DJ, is like a good like rule of thumb is like, don't go up, like if you can help it, don't go above 10 BPM and don't go below 10 BPM. At that point, the music, like the song, will kind of start losing its groove. It's not like you can't, but that's just kind of a rule of thumb, personally. That's just a rule of thumb I follow, right? It just kind of helps keep it simple. And then everything on this side is exactly the same as on this side. So these two are the same things, right? So let me show you some other DJ controllers really quick, just so you can kind of get a feel of like how others look like, right? So that's the DDJ 400, right? This is one of the controllers that I recommend the most for beginners. Is the DDJ FLX4. This is the new version of the one I have, basically. This is an excellent DJ controller. I think it's like like not that expensive. It's like $200 or something like that. This is an excellent starting DJ controller. It's not the only controller I recommend for beginners that like people would recommend. But it is excellent. It is very, very, very good. This has, as you can see, exactly all the controllers, all the buttons I just showed you, right? This is a really, really good controller to start out with. And yeah, this works with Serato or Rekordbox. So you can kind of choose which software you like, right? Don't ask questions and just get an FLX4. Basically. But I know there are people here with other controllers, so I have to talk about other controllers just in case, you know, like so that nobody feels left out. But in my opinion, this is one of the best ones you can start off with, right? This kind of controller will last you for a really long time, right? It has everything you could need for the most part, right? It looks nice. There's even a really beautiful white version. I think Sleepy Goof Pilot had it for their Tabemono Fest set. The white version is gorgeous. It is so pretty. Like it's just like white with gold and orange. It is so gorgeous. It is so nice. The one I have, the one I have is a silver one. But I kind of wish it was white. It's really nice, right? It's really, really, really pretty. It just came out recently. Yeah. So this is a Pioneer or Alpha Theta DDJ FLX4, right? This is, like I said, this is in my opinion, this is a very, very, very good beginner controller. If you start getting into DJ controllers, I recommend this. You don't really need like anything more than this for a hot minute, right? So I recommend this, right? There are other controllers though. For example, this is the... Oh shit, it's a huge picture. This is the Hercules Impulse. As you can see, like the buttons are in slightly different places, but it basically works the same, right? It basically works the same. You've got the tempo sliders, the play and the cue, the little pads, right? All the buttons, you know, the equalizers here, the effects, you know, the faders, the crossfader. Everything is basically in the same place, right? Everything is basically in the same place. I think Hercules only works with Serato or Tractor? I forget. Yeah, so it's, you know, it's really kind of up to you. If you are somebody that likes scratching, if you're like a DJ that wants to get into scratching, some of these controllers that you... Oh, does it say? Sorry, my version of it is very like small, so I can't read it. But some of these, right, like the turntables, if you want to get into scratching, some of them are better than others for scratching, right? The FLX4, the wheels don't really have that much weight to them. So it's still good for scratching, but there are better. Like, if you want to scratch, you will probably want something a little heavier, right? Something that feels a little heavier, gives you a little bit more control, right? But that's just, you know, that's for like if you really start looking at the specifics, right? You don't really have to worry about that kind of stuff at the beginning. There's also... Bro, why are they still hammering? It's like 5. There's also stuff like the new Mark with the party lights. I believe this one can run all the software. You can put this one on all the software. I think this one is so funny because it has party lights included. But you see how this is kind of like a simpler version. This doesn't have all the buttons that like the other ones have, but it has party lights, you know. It has built-in party lights. See, this one only has like 4 pads, right? It doesn't have... I think this one's missing like a mid control. Like you can only control the highs and the lows, but not the mids on this one. Like it's missing some equalizer buttons. You know, it has some less buttons, but it's like stuff that like you can still DJ with this, you know? Yeah, there's no like effects really. There's no like loop controls. This is like a very basic one, but it's got party lights, you know? It's got party lights, you know what I mean? And it's portable, yeah. I mean, all these are portable, but you'll need a laptop, right? The thing to know about all these controllers that I showed you so far is that, like, these are not standalone controllers. You will still need to plug in a computer or a laptop to these, right? Because you'll still need to have it, like, hooked up to software, right? Once you start getting more hardcore, right? You can get standalone stuff like... Oh my god, huge picture. I kind of like this one. This one's sick, right? This is one of the Denon portable controllers. This is a standalone portable controller. This is meant to be like a really small one that you can just take with you anywhere, right? It's got all the buttons. It's got all the basic stuff, right? And this one has a screen with everything built in, so you don't even need a computer for this one. Like, you plug in your USB drive with all your music, and that's it. Like, you don't need anything else for it. Like, everything else is here, right? I've played with one of these before. They're kind of sick. They're kind of cool, not gonna lie, right? They're expensive though. They're very expensive. But they are kind of cool, not gonna lie, right? So this is what's called like a standalone portable controller, right? Because it has standalone because you don't need a computer. It has the software built into it, right? Yeah, these are kind of sick, not gonna lie. These are kind of sick. You have to pay a subscription for the software on it? I don't think so. I don't think so. Is that Wi-Fi? These shouldn't need internet. Unless you use something like a subscription service or something. I don't know. I've only ever used these like once. I went to an event once where they just had like controllers all over the place, right? And at the rooftop they had like one of these. You could just play on it if you wanted. So I just kind of like fiddled around with it a little bit. But I actually don't know, right? I actually don't know. I assume it can use Wi-Fi though. I actually don't know. I haven't used one of these that much, but I assume so. And it looks like it because it does have the Wi-Fi thing on there. So, but these are very expensive. These are usually like, yeah, these are like $1,000, kind of expensive, you know. These are pretty pricey. If you start getting more hardcore, right? There's things like the classic. Oh shit. The classic DJing 100 or 1000, right? You see how these ones have 4 tracks? So these ones you can mix up to 4 songs at the same time. You can do it with 2-track controllers too, but it's a little bit more complicated. Like, you have to do it on the software. But these have 4 tracks. It's got basically the same buttons for everything else, right? These are a lot bigger, and they have screens in the middle, which are very nice. It shows you the BPM of every song. It shows you like the tempo, how much time is left, where in the song you are, the waveforms, and everything, right? These are very nice. They're very expensive though. These start getting pretty expensive. This one's not standalone, but the screens are nice, right? And then you have, the even crazier stuff. Like, oh, this is the same thing. Sorry, what was I showing you? Did I not save the pictures of the hardcore ones? Hold on. I want to show you a big standalone controller. Alright, here we go. So here's what like a big standalone will kind of look like. This is a CDJ 3000. This is what like a bigger standalone controller looks like. These get heavy. These are heavy. Usually you need a carrying case for these. This is like carrying around an entire instrument. These are big and they're heavy. But this is like if you play at like venues and stuff like that, a lot of the time you'll kind of like you'll end up seeing something kind of like this. Where they have these are like standalone. So all you have to do is plug your controller, not your controller, your USB drive into these, right? And everything is on here. Everything is on the screens, right? This is a complete standalone DJ controller, right? Yeah, this is expensive. This is the kind that you'll see at a club and stuff. Like this is the kind that you see in like big clubs. I've gotten to play on these like once or twice. Because I know people that like own stuff like this. They're very confusing to me. Like they're very confusing. I struggle with these a little bit because like having the software built in, I'm not used to it. And it's a lot of buttons. They're kind of intimidating, but they're not that bad. They're just, you know, it's just more stuff, more of everything, right? So that's kind of like, that's how like the general amount of like, you know, controllers can look like, right? Any Clover has at least 2 full CDJ 3000 setups. Any Clover is crazy. They dedicate themselves to that stuff, so it makes sense. It makes sense, but that stuff is wild because like it's a whole carrying case. Like those things are like the size of a desk, right? Like my little DJJ 400 is tiny, you know, it's like a little guy, right? I can like put it in a suitcase, right? But a big controller is like, it's like the size of a table, right? It's enormous, it's huge. They're huge and they're heavy and you need like a big case. What did I use at Fantastic Reality? I use this at Fantastic Reality. I use my own. This is my trusty one. I've used a lot of different controllers though. I've used like Serato controllers. I've used Tractor controllers. I've used Denons. I've used the little portable guys. I've used like the big CDJs, right? At the end of the day, they all kind of do the same thing, right? Those are the ones that people like DS or Daft Punk use? Yeah, most likely. Pioneer is the standard. Pioneer is like the standard for DJs and clubs. So yeah, like if you ever watch like a Boiler Room or like a big concert or something like that, you'll notice that they probably have like a Pioneer controller. It's the standard, right? Sorry. So let me show you hands-on kind of what everything does. So I can just kind of show you, right? So I'm gonna have a small like hand cam set up here, and then I'm gonna have my record box kind of like big so you can see everything. Alright, can you see everything okay? Alright, cool. So let me turn off my background music and kind of show you a bit, right? So as you can see, for example, these are all the buttons I was showing you, right? Everything I was showing you there. The sliders and everything here. And you see how like when I move these, you can see it right here, right? How I move, like if I move like the low knob, it shows it right here, stuff like that, right? So my setup is a little different, you know. You may have if you're a DJ, you might have a slightly different setup. This is just kind of how mine is, right? Not an alphanumeric key is crazy. You know, this is just kind of how I learned it. This is just kind of how I learned it. Some people use like numeric keys. I just kind of use this, right? I hate letters. I don't know. This is just kind of how I use it. When I started DJing, I didn't really know what keys were, because I'm not really a music person. So I just kind of learned it like this, you know. I just kind of got used to it like this. Anyway, this is like my general music stuff. I usually have it organized by BPM, sometimes by artist, sometimes by key, sometimes by, you know, whatever. You can organize this however you want. Some people that I know organize it by vibe, some people organize it by genre. You know, you can organize it however you want. That's kind of like the stuff that's up to you, right? You can organize it. That's a huge playlist, dude. This is nothing compared to some people. I have about 1,000 something songs in here. This is nothing compared to some people. Anyway, let's kind of get into the basics of it. So, let's say I want... Let's see... So I'm gonna show you kind of like how to mix some stuff, right? To kind of give you a basics of what all of this stuff means, right? The preview will kind of show you the waveform. This comes in handy if you want to know, like, okay, you know, say you're mixing a song and you're like, okay, I want a song that starts out quite quiet at the beginning. For example, right here, you see how it's like that there? This might be a good song like that. Or I want a song that starts out, you know, right on the beat immediately, right? Something like this, right? Of course, here you have the artwork, the track title, the artist, the album, the genre, BPM. Sometimes the BPM isn't correct, but we'll get into that. How long the song is, the key. The ones that are highlighted are just highlighted for me because it just shows what songs have matching keys, right? Has a date added, that doesn't really matter. It's just how I have mine set up, right? There's lots of jersey on this one because this is from a, these are from some, for example, this is my VIRL playlist, my crate from when I did the VIRL show. That was a lot of jungle and drum and bass. Here's like the Fantastic Reality ones where it was a lot of kind of like more like techno and hardcore. The Offkai, the Any Clover Offkai ones, where I just like, I put like a bunch of jersey and a bunch of kind of stuff in one playlist, right? Like a Production Yakai one, like a New Year's one. This is my Star Party one, so there's a bunch of like ambient music, like more chill stuff, right? And then yeah, my usual stuff. So let's let's say I want, so I'm gonna go with this song here. I'm gonna load this up to this track over here, track number 1, and I'm gonna press this button.
Let's look at the fun.
Oh, I didn't mean to play yet. Sorry. And then, so, you know, I can press play. Oh, hold on, it's at 166. I don't mean it to be at that tempo right now. A little faster than usual. Is it supposed to be at 166? What's going on? Oh, my tempo slider is a little messed up. There we go. There we go. Real. I can't even. If you see, this is how you can tell when I was losing my mind preparing for Offkai. Because I would make like one playlist, like one crate, and then be like, no, this isn't what I want. And then I would make another one and just call it real. And then I'd be like, no, this isn't what I want either. Then I'd make another one. I really struggled making the one for Offkai. So that's why I have a lot of playlists for it, because I was losing my mind. You can kind of see the structure of how I was struggling, you know? back up to final energy real. It's like so yeah, we've got this song, right?
Let's look at the fun.
You see how I have these cues here? So here, let me see if I can show you a little. So I've got, you can't see them, but over here, I've got some programmed cue points. So for example, I can jump back to A. Right, or I can jump to C if I want. Or, you know. You can play around with stuff like that, you know. You see how it jumps back and forth? Alright, I'm gonna go back to the beginning. I pressed Q to skip back to the beginning because that's where I have my cue set up right now. Right? Yeah, you can set up cue points. See how when you look down my list, I've got all these little green dots on everything? These are cue points that I've already set up. My software saves these. And you can take off, program new ones, erase these whenever you want, right? That's where my cue points are too. You can just press a little X if you want to get rid of them, right? Or you can make new ones. The tune of the trans real! So, I'm gonna play it again from the beginning. I'm just gonna recycle a I'm just gonna recycle like a transition I did at VIRL. Oh, sorry. I gotta fix my tempo slider. And I kind of want these two songs to. I'm just gonna press beat sync just to show you. Just to show you. It's not doing it right. Hold on. No. Whatever. Right. So I'm gonna play on one song, and I'm going to just kind of show you how like the basic, you know, it starts going from one song to the other, right? I have mine set up so that it's colored in 3 colors, right? The blues are the lows, the oranges are the mids, and the white is the highs. So I can, for example, like, I can turn down the lows all the way, right, with this. For the mids. For the highs. The lows again, you know, oops. This is the filter. Or the other way around, so it sounds like this. Oops. Didn't mean to start that. Didn't mean to start that yet. So I'm gonna do a basic transition. I'm gonna turn the lows down a little bit. Give the filter a little bit and turn this down. And check this out. Turn up the lows a little bit again. Maybe switch the filters. Gonna turn this down a little bit, right? I'll turn this up all the way. Did I make it glorpy? Yeah, hold on. Here. Let's switch this. Here's the echo. Filter a little bit. Up. So let's play with some other filters really quick. For example here, right? I can choose, these are all, I think you should be able to see this, right? Show some stuff. So I've got reverb. I can turn it on. I can do the flanger. What do you mean, wangy, you know? Oh, you can't see it? Well, that's okay. But it's up here. When you click this little arrow thing here, right? Flanger, whatever. There's a robot. This makes it super wangy.
Listen, people, come up close. We don't bite. Sound system is about... Sound clash is about love. See? It's a musical war. Okay? So come close.
I actually like the echo. The echo's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, you can have a lot of fun.
Listen, people, come up close.
Does that mean equalizer set to isolate or not? I don't think so. Alright. So that's kind of like, you know, that's a basic... It's like a basic blend, right? As you can tell, for example here, right, on this track, I'm gonna turn it up, right? The way I set it up for myself, and you can probably do this and it'll make a little bit more sense, right? But like, I set this BQ point here to know when I need to start this song. Right? So I always know when I start this song for a good blend that I planned out. This is what this does, right? You see what it does?
Listen, people, we don't bite.
Yeah, they're like sticky notes. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. It doesn't pause, but it goes between one song to the other, you know? So let's try it with something else, right? Let's see. What did I have for this one? Alright, this is another one. Hold on. Okay, I'll play this song just because it's really fun. But like, not everybody has it set to like the blue, the white, and the orange. That's just how I have it set up because that's kind of how I learned, right? That's just kind of how I learned, right? But, so kind of giving you the basics, right? This song is 174 BPM. You can see it right here. You can, you know, control it. Sometimes I control it with the mouse. Sometimes I don't. Right? You can do it with the sliders, right? You can go really slow, right? Or you can go... Or you can go like a little faster, you know? Or you can. This is a normal tempo, right? I think I set that cue up because I think that's where I like started this song. I think. Yeah, let's fucking go! I love this song. Alright, we're gonna do an echo, right? Right? And then it's building up, so I'm gonna do a little bit of this. Alright, let's go! This song is so good. So, something that's kind of important when, and I mean, you'll get used to this as you go, right? You can kind of tell. One thing that's important as a DJ is you should know your music, right? If you're trying to mix music that you've never heard before, you're gonna have a hard time. Like, you can do it if you pay attention to this stuff, right? To like the waveforms, but you're gonna have a little bit of a hard time, right? So some of the things you want to pay attention to when you have the two songs together, right? Everything here is a bar, right? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think this is a little mismatched though, actually. This is a really good example because some of this shit's not matched well. Sometimes when you have songs with different BPMs, it'll kind of mess it up. You see how my bar starts at the beginning of each beat here? At this part, right? At the intro. But then when it gets into the heavier parts, it's like kind of mismatched. That's unfortunately, it happens sometimes, right? It happens sometimes. You're welcome to anime! That happens sometimes. You can fix it. I press here and I usually fix it around. I'm not gonna mess with it right now though. But for example, you can just kind of tell here and see what part is gonna be the most hype. So for example, this part, right? You see how it's. This is mostly just kind of like, you know, this part starts. I'm gonna move it over here. Right? And you can see how from the waveform you can see that it's kind of like a chiller part. And it's got these beats that come up and then it's gonna ramp up here and then it goes into the beat. You see that? And then it's the same thing here, right? See, you can kind of see, like, you can kind of tell what's coming when you see this part, right? And then it's gonna ramp up here. See, and then you see the high getting even bigger. And then over here it's gonna build up and then the bass is gonna drop. So, build up. There you go. There's the horns. The horns. And then a little part right here, right? And then it's gonna go into the horns again here. Little by little, you just kind of learn to read this, right? Your time is up, my time is now. You can't see me, my time is now. It's the franchise where I'm shining now. It's kind of the same thing. We're gonna have this part right here that's just gonna be like a beat. See, and that's just that. And these are the mids and the highs, so I could like, you know, turn that down. Like that, right? So I'm gonna try it with a different song. Let's see. Okay, you know what? Why not? Why not? That part gets me so much. Yes, turn it up, night. See, it's building up right there, and then it goes. Yes, turn it up. So let's try and like mix some songs, right? Just like, you know, just doing it right now, right? So it doesn't have to be a song that's in the same BPM, but for me it's easy, right? So I'll look for a song that's like similar BPM. So I'm gonna go with this Puderin song. It's about the same, right? If I had headphones on, right? If I had headphones on, I would press this Q button, and I could press play. Oh, sorry. And you see that, like, even if I'm in the middle of the song, if I have the slider down, you don't hear it. But if I have the headphones in, my Q headphones into the controller, I would be able to hear it, and I'd be able to like change where I want the song. Oops, where I want the song to start. The chong. Sorry. Do I care about key? A little bit. It's not a rule. It makes it easy, but it's not a rule. You can blend stuff that's not the same key, and it's fine, right? And it's totally okay. So I'm gonna start. Yeah, I'm gonna start here. I like the cues because, for example, like I can be at the beginning of the song. Here, hold on. I'm gonna try and like do it from around here. I'm gonna turn this up, put a little bit of filter on it, turn the lows down, just to make it easy. And I'm gonna start from the B point. There you go. See? I'm gonna phase this one out a little bit and turn this up. See, not bad. Jersey is pretty easy to blend with each other because, like, a lot of Jersey songs will have the same kind of beat, the same kind of speed. Some genres will, like, be pretty uniform and they're a little easier to blend, right? But say I want to do, like, something else, right? Okay, that one's kind of sudden. Hold on. We'll find a good place for it. Teacher, how do I know which songs go well together? Use your ears. Straight up. Alright, I'm gonna try it. Let's see. That's okay. Not the best start point. When I'm rehearsing, when I'm trying, I'm just like messing around. I do this kind of stuff and I just see where, like, what area sounds good. And that's usually where I set up a cue point. So I set up one there. Let me see if that one's any good. That works alright. These two songs don't go together that well because they're very different genres. But it could be worse, you know what I mean? And then I have these two parts here where these songs are gonna get quiet. So I'm gonna fade this one out. See, even though these two songs don't go that well together, you follow these kind of rules and you can make them blend. I have a beat loop here that I like. I wonder if I can set it. Bam 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 bam. Bang 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 bang. Alright, we'll try another song. Here. I like to usually wait until like this kind of part or like the end of a beat or like the end of a phrase to kind of blend in, right? So let's try. This is a cue. This is a loop I have set up, like a beat loop I got set up. I'm gonna echo it. Hold on. I'm gonna switch to the second track. Echo it. I'll go up a little just to have fun. And I just have the echo set up a little bit. It'll make it a little natural, right? Oh, it's so hot in my room. I like the song a lot. Yeah, you can play any song. These are high BPM songs. I can show you some low BPM stuff. You see how I blended those? DJing for 10 minutes without saying cheers? Yo, cheers! I got a root beer. Let's see what I can blend in. In a part like this, I might start speeding up a little. If I want to go into a faster song. Here, let's try this. I want to go up to 190-ish. That was pretty smooth. Yo, welcome to Takaramono, everybody! Alright, I'm gonna play this faster song. So that's how I speed up in BPM. Some people do it different. So what I look for transition points is it should be like at the end of a phrase, probably. A phrase is like a bunch of these, right? So here, I'll show you how to like kind of count the phrase, right? You can kind of tell, right? There's kind of these dips. So I'll start at the beginning, right? So a new one's about to start right now. Right now. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Not a super smooth blend, but it works, you know? This is like 190 BPM is pretty fast. It's rare that I go this fast. Some people have their preferred BPMs. I'm more of like a 140 kind of person. I like 140. Some people are like 200 and above, right? And I have some friends that are like 128, 130 only. It just kind of depends on what music you like, you know? Love you till the day I die. Yeah, it just depends what you like. It sounds like hardcore. Does it sound like breakcore? This is hardcore. This is hardcore. Yeah, a lot of people really like 160, right? Yeah, you can do all of this in virtual DJ. Virtual DJ will work basically the same way. Cause like you can use the controller, right? But like I can do that same exact transition, which is mouse and keyboard, right? I can just move these with my mouse. So let's go back to this, right? I'm gonna put this back to normal. And then I want to mix it in, right? I'm gonna turn the lows down. Turn this up and press play. And I have the filters here too, so. See, you can do the same thing. You can do the same thing. Oh, I'm getting really sweaty. Ugh. Alright, let's try a different genre. Let's try something wildly different. So here I've got some stuff. As you can see, a lot of these songs are like, I think the fastest song I have in here, technically like 170, but they're not 170, right? Like most of these songs are like, you know, like not, most of these are very, very slow songs. So let's say you're not into dance music, right? Like, let's just say you're not into dance music. Let's see, what can we do? File couldn't be found. Did I move these? Come on. I might have moved some of my files. I haven't played with those in a while. Well, either way, okay. I'm not gonna play Toate because that shit will get my stream fucking destroyed. So let's say you have this song here that's like... This one is 102. I like the song a lot. Let's play it. Let's see what we can see. This is a very different genre, right? Do you need me to do you? I like the song a lot. I'm gonna start around here, where the beat starts. Set my cue there just to make it easier for myself. With my heart, baby. That thing away. I like this song a lot. Oh yeah, this beat grid is so fucked up. But you can just count it, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Play. These songs don't really go together at all, but whatever. Doesn't really fit, but you know, whatever. So let's try, let's see. No. Don't want to have the beat sync on. Put the song on there. Oh, is my audio getting crunchy? Hold on. Is this better? Alright. So I'm gonna try and blend. Let's see, to a... One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. I'm not very good at this. We'll try. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Oh, fuck! I fucked it up. Alright, hold on. We try again. Hold on. I'm not showing you a good example right now. turn on the BPM sync? I was trying to do it without it, but I'm kind of ass. I'm kind of ass without it, not gonna lie. Okay, but like in a part like this, it shouldn't be that bad. Hold on, I'm gonna try it. Hold on. Let's try a different one. Hold on. Okay, this should be okay. I'll try this. Oh, I didn't do it right. I know, I'm 10 BPM off. I'm just kind of trying to show you, like, that you don't, you know, the numbers, you can go without the numbers. You know what I mean? I'm not doing a good job showing you right now, though. I'm not doing a good job right now, though, but, you know. You can see the vision, right? But we could bump it up, right? Close enough right here. Right. Speed it up a little. I didn't really put these two songs where I should have. Oh, and it's because of this here. I see, that's why. There we go. I'm gonna echo these. That was kind of shit, but you know, whatever. You get it. This is how I easily spend like hours, you know, just like preparing shit. Cause I'll just play around, you know? Nah. I gotta pick where I want to mix here. Oh, it's hot in my room. Alright. Come on, let's get to this part. Alright, from this point, rather than starting at the beginning, I'm gonna try and start right here with this alias. So I'm gonna press my hot Q button. I'm gonna see if it works. Let's try it. It doesn't. Where did I have it queued? That queue is not the right one. Is it here? Yeah, I should have been here. Okay, I'm gonna queue this one. B, right there. Let's try that again. Let's try that again. I think this should work a little better this time. It's okay. I'm looping it manually right now, but I could just loop it myself, you know? Ah, I fucked it up. I fucked it up, but it's okay. Let me show you how you can do a loop really quick. There's 6 minutes until a video premiere. Ah, fuck! I forgot I said a video premiere. Well, you're welcome to skip out and go watch the video. Actually, what if I just make the video premiere a little later? Hold on, give me a second. I'm just gonna move the video premiere to a tiny bit later. Hold on. I didn't think I was gonna be streaming right now. Hold on. 2 highlights and a week caught us all off guard. Gotta get my videos in. Gotta get my videos in. Alright, I'm gonna move it to an hour, sorry. Move it to an hour for now. Alright, there we go. There we go. Okay. Well, anyway. I'm gonna show you how to do a loop, and then I want you guys to start thinking about questions, because I'm kind of reaching the end of this anyway. To show off that the outer rim of the jaw wheel does something else at the inner one. It does? Huh? Hold on. Try it with this song. Oh shit! Bro, I never knew that! What the fuck? What the fuck? I never knew that. I never knew that. What the hell? I never knew that. I'm still learning. Honestly, there's still a lot of stuff I don't know, as you can see, right? This song is probably gonna get me like mega copyrighted, so I'm not gonna play too much of it, right? So it's fine. It's fine. We're gonna play the fucking RO theme. But I think, as far as like the basics of that, is there anything I'm forgetting? Is there anything I'm forgetting here? I feel like I've kind of gone over the basics. Like, I mean, you can do beat loops like this, right? Beat loop, right? Each programmable button. You can make a beat loop longer, right? That, right. You can see kind of like the bars here. You see how it counts, right? I mentioned it a little bit earlier. FF7 music, you're killing me. You're killing me. I'm not gonna take it. I'm not gonna bite the bait. I'm not gonna bite it. I'm not gonna bite it. But like you can kind of see, right? Like each little bar here, 4 measures. And one phrase is usually about 8 or 16 of these. And you'll see how, like, a part of the song, as long as these are, like, aligned properly, you see how, like... You see how everything kind of fits the bars, right? This is a pretty common structure of, like, dance music and stuff. Is that, you know, it kind of follows the bars and the phrases. So, there's... Here, hold on. So, this part starts around here, right? There's gonna be a part that starts around here. Hold on. See? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That's one phrase. And then see? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. That's kind of like, that kind of goes more into like music theory stuff, but it's like, it's nice to keep in mind, right? It's kind of nice to keep in mind, right? It helps, it helps. You don't need to know that kind of stuff, but it does help. It helps for like when you're trying to kind of like match up like areas in the songs and stuff. The thing back in the 90s, DJs would just have to study the vinyls directly and keep in mind of stuff like this. Dude, vinyl mixing, that's, you know, that's the crazy shit, you know? What's up, Blaze? Welcome! Alright, I'm gonna give you guys some fan service, I guess. Hold on. Knowing that most music is 4/4 measure is really useful as long as you remember that not music is. That is true. That is true. I've never used this Sandstorm mix. So I feel like Sandstorm is still a little too cheesy to use in a mix, but I've always wanted to try. This is kind of crazy though. I'm gonna turn it up a little, speed it up a little. I'm gonna speed it up on the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is the root Sandstorm. Yo, DJ track ID? I have a lot of meme songs, honestly. the words of one of my friends, gets the kids on the floor, you know? If the key is highlighted in bright green, it means it's a matching key. God, this one's so fucking crunchy. This one's so fucking crunchy. Look at those highs, dude. All my meme shit is like more over here. Hold on. God, this one's fucking crazy. A lot of the meme shit I have is like really high BPM. That is true. I am not redlining. You're right. In the words of another one of my DJ friends, if you ain't redlining, you ain't headlining. Take that as seriously as you want. It was my DJ friend Clyde Machine that taught me that. What does that mean? You see this here? Redlining means that your level is reaching red. See, so it's red right there. This song is so fucking crazy. Money cute fingers. My fingers are looking so chubby in this angle. Look at that. They look so chunky. Alright, that's good enough. That's good enough. Question, why does the FLX plastic feel weird compared to the DJ 400? I don't know, ask Pioneer. You gotta ask Pioneer that. My last tip, something that I used a lot when I was starting out. Some producers make something called DJ tools. When you start getting into it, DJ tools were really, really useful for me. I still use them sometimes. DJ tools are basically songs that are easy to blend in and out of. So for example, I use Carpenter Super Dance Tools a lot. You may recognize a transition that I used to do a lot. So I used to grab Carpenter's Super Dance Tools, his Quika loop. Right? And then I still do this sometimes. This is just kind of like an easy beat to start out of, like start into and out of, right? And these are they're repetitive, but they're good beats, right? Like, they're repetitive, but like, I've used these a lot in DJ sets, and like, some of them are really, really good. Like, they're good on their own, right? Yeah, I use some of these as a loading screen music for my DJ streams. Yeah. And these have, as you can see, they have a lot of places where you can blend in and out of. It makes it a lot easier, right? So I recommend these a lot. They're on Bandcamp, Carpenter's Super Dance Tools, right? Yeah, it's pretty normal techno, but they're very good for this kind of thing. So I'm gonna blend around this part. They're pretty useful. They are very useful. Alright, let's talk about some final things before I wrap up and take any final questions. As you can see, there's still a lot of things I don't know, but I wanted to kind of show you the stuff I do know, so you can get started the way I got started. Yeah, club tools and like DJ tools they're really nice. I have a couple, right? I have a couple that like really help me, like, because sometimes it's really hard to blend some songs, and these really help like go in between, right? So now some of the questions you may have are like, Mono, where do you get your music? Like I mentioned, sometimes you can do stuff like Beatport. Beatport is a subscription service that supplies music and like has really good stuff. A lot of artists put their stuff on Beatport, and you can just have access to it, right? I have played with stuff off of Beatport. Honestly, I think it's worth it. Like, I think it's a worthwhile subscription if you just want a lot of music, right? Just join the DJ's USB after the set ends. True. Like I said, like stuff like Beatport is really worth it. I know some people If you're more of like, for example, I know there's DJs, for example, like Salas in the chat, who does a lot of like request streams. I'm not a DJ that takes requests. But for example, Celeste will have streams on Arium where she does like request night, where you can just request whatever song. She has stuff. She has stuff to like put those songs directly into her software, and it makes it a lot easier. Like you can link up your software with like SoundCloud, Spotify, blah 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 blah, right? All that stuff. Struggle question: what do you do with your hands? You drink beer. You drink alcohol. You throw them in the air. You pretend like the knobs are really hot. Yeah, you're like, ooh. You're like, ooh. Ow. Ooh. It makes you look cool. It makes you look cool. And you're like, ooh. Ooh. Wah, you know. There's styles of like performance for DJing. Once you get into performing in front of people, there's people that like, for example, I know really talented DJs that don't move. They'll just like DJ and they're super locked in. They don't really dance, they don't really move, they're just locked the fuck in DJing the entire time. And then there's DJs that like will kind of like prioritize dancing and hyping you up and like, you know, dancing around over like a lot of other things, right? I know this couple. They're very cute. It's two girl DJs, and one of them DJs a lot of like happy hardcore music, right? And she's super serious. Like when she DJs, she's like super locked in, right? Like she doesn't dance much. She doesn't really like look around much. She's locked in and she's doing her thing. She's super locked in. And then her girlfriend is another DJ that does more like dancey stuff, right? Like all sorts of stuff. And she will be clapping her hands. She'll be spinning around. She'll be dancing. She'll be like, you know, getting you to put your hands up in the air. It's, you know, there's performance styles for everybody, and they're all valid, right? It depends on what you like, right? Depends on what you like. And yeah, it's just your stage presence. You don't really have to worry about that kind of stuff until you get, you know, on a stage kind of thing. So yeah. I can't multitask locking only. Even taking a drink feels risky, bro. I'm not that kind. I will be dancing. I'll be doing all sorts of shit. Sometimes I'll check my phone when I'm DJing. Like if the song is really long, and then here's my last secret. You should have at least a couple really long songs in your like crates, right? My DJ friends taught me this trick. You should have a couple like 6-7 minute songs. This is your bathroom crate. So I've got these songs that are like 7 minutes, right? This is an 8-minute song right here. If you gotta go pee, you put this shit on. Yeah, like this is a song, right? Like I can put this song on. I can go take a pee, right? Or I can go get another beer or something like that from the fridge. And like this song will keep going for like this song could go for like 6 minutes and it's still good. Yo, thank you, Lavin! Thank you so much! Yo, thank you, Geronimo! Thank you, Dove! Thank you! If you start getting into like streaming it or like performances or stuff like that, like, and this is like purely, this kind of stuff obviously doesn't really like this doesn't really apply if you're like playing in real life on a stage, right? Like if you're on a real stage, you probably shouldn't put on a 7-minute song and go take a piss, right? You probably shouldn't do that. But when you're a bedroom DJ, when you're just like mixing, you know, for your friends, or when you're mixing on stream, when you're mixing in VR or something like that, you can kind of pull shit off like this, right? Like you can just put on a really long track and go pee. You know what I mean? So my last stuff, talking about where to get music from. I have two places that I rely on a lot. The first one is Bandcamp. I swear by Bandcamp. Bandcamp.com. Every couple weeks, they have a thing called Bandcamp Friday, where any music that you buy during Bandcamp Friday, the entirety goes to the artist. Like on every other day, every normal day, right? Bandcamp takes a little bit of a cut of their music, right? But Bandcamp Friday is this Friday, so this coming Friday, like in 5 hours, right? And on Bandcamp Friday, usually a lot of artists will release a lot of new music, and they get 100% of the cut. They don't get anything taken out of what you buy on Bandcamp Friday. So it's a big deal for like music. Bandcamp is good not just for like electronic music, it's good for all sorts of music. If you are somebody that is into music, Bandcamp is an excellent place. Honestly, like Bandcamp, like might as well kind of like be on my homepage, like bookmarks. Like that's how often I'm on it, right? You can buy all sorts of stuff on it, all sorts of music. You can search, like the tagging system is pretty good. You can find people you like and look at their collection, look at their wish list, stuff like that, right? So I recommend that a lot. However, yeah, there's a lot of free music on Bandcamp, but if you're on Bandcamp, you're probably going to be buying your music. There's also places like SoundCloud, of course. SoundCloud has a lot of really like, you can find a lot of like the crazy mashups and a lot of the crazier mixes and a lot of like the crazy shit on SoundCloud. So some of like the crazy bangers are not anywhere but SoundCloud, right? And you can like either like find it there or download it. And then I also recommend, and a lot of musicians throughout the times will back me up here. Do not sleep on SoulSeek. Yes, it is a peer-to-peer like download service, right? It is, you know, technically LimeWire or whatever the fuck, you know, it's that kind of service. It's that kind of thing. But it's very good for music. Basically, it's a peer-to-peer, right? SoulSeek is, I use it a lot. I use SoulSeek a lot. Like, if you can pay for your music, it's worth it, but there are sometimes things that you can't find anywhere. There are sometimes things that are not on Bandcamp, are not on YouTube, are not anywhere. Like a lot of rare music, you can get on SoulSeek. Just, you know, follow peer-to-peer etiquette, right? Don't be that person that only downloads and doesn't upload, right? 'Cause I know a lot of those people that like, it's not an archive. SoulSeek is like peer-to-peer download, right? But you should seed music and you should upload your own stuff. It's trading. SoulSeek is basically trading, right? Do not be that person that just like downloads and never uploads anything. If you're gonna download from SoulSeek, you should be uploading the music that you have too. You should be uploading your collection as well. It's peer-to-peer. It's like give and take. It should be equal, right? It's the same kind of etiquette that goes towards like torrenting and stuff like that, right? It should be peer-to-peer, should be equal. What else? I don't give a fuck about Spotify, but I guess you can use it, right? I guess if you use it, it's, you know, you can link it up to your controllers, and that's fine. You know, you can use it that way. Yeah, honestly, what's on my... Yeah, see, you can kind of see here. You can beat up, you can not beat up. You can link up iTunes, SoundCloud, Beatport, BeatSource, Tidal. And then one thing that is kind of cool, right? When you start getting really into DJing and when you start going places, when you start DJing with your friends and stuff like that, the culture is everybody has a music library on a USB drive. So if you ever go to an event with a bunch of DJs, probably everybody will have their USB drive. I've seen some DJs that carry their music library as a necklace. Too long didn't watch, use record box so you can DJ with your friends IRL. Yeah, honestly. Yeah, I feel like that's a good tip. But you don't need to worry about that kind of stuff if you're starting out. But if you get into doing this in person IRL, get a USB drive. Put like, I don't know, like you put like the songs that you would want to play. Don't be like me the first time I did this. Don't put all 1,000 something songs on there. Because every time you like hook up your USB drive to somebody else's computer or somebody else's software, you have to like analyze and export everything. Like, and it's a pain in the ass, right? So just, set that up, but you'll probably figure out how to do that kind of stuff once you get into it, Yeah, you do it through USB drive. Apple, Amazon, helpful for originals too. Yeah. Wherever you can find music, right, is good. SD cards with a small adapter is the meta. Yeah, but they're not as cute as USB drives. They're not as cute. I mean, you can do an SD card with like a USB adapter, but I like the USBs because like a lot of people will put like keychains on them or like little like straps on them. You can put charms on them. You can decorate them. You can have like a cool one. Like I said, there's a store. Is it Neotech, I think? There's a store that sells a let me see if I can find it. They have like a USB necklace. Hold on. I saw this a lot at a DJ event once. No, I don't see it anymore. Well, I guess it's not for sale anymore. There used to be a like for sale. It's like a chain necklace. And you could have like a little USB thing that was like a part of the necklace. So you could just take off the necklace and that would be your USB. Really, really trendy, kind of like fashion boy kind of accessory, right? I guess my last tip is obviously you should think about the quality of your music files a little bit. If you're only gonna be like DJing on YouTube or in VR chat or you're only gonna be doing videos, then MP3s are fine. MP3s are fine if you're gonna do that kind of stuff. However, if you have the option to, you should always aim to get FLAC or .wav files. Because when you play in real life, on like a big, like a big boy sound system, you can tell. Like, you can't tell on your headphones, right? Like, if you just have your headphones on, you can't tell. If you have speakers at home, you probably can't tell. But when you go to a club and you play on like the big boy speakers, like an actual like pro setup, you can tell. Yeah, it sounds like shit. It's like when you play MP3s on like the good speakers, like a professional sound system, it sounds like shit, and you can tell. So just something to keep in mind, right? If you ever want to take this to a point where you want to play in person, right? You should have lossless music. Cause you will be able to tell. You will absolutely be able to tell. I learned this the hard way. Cause when I was still starting out, right? I was playing at I was playing on like a really nice controller. And it was a super, super nice system, right? And I was like playing my music and they were like, Mono, why is your music so quiet? Like, why does it sound like muddy, like quiet? Like, is something wrong with the controller? Like, did you click something on the controller? Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, no. And then that's when we were like, oh, is your music an MP3? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, oh, that's why. And I was so embarrassed. I felt like such a plebe. I was like, oh, nahone. Nahone. I felt like such a baby, you know? So if you can, you should have all your stuff in FLAC. It does mean that you'll need more storage for your music. All my hard drives are like almost full, right? So learn from my mistakes. Learn from my mistakes, okay? Sakana says, extra tip, if you must download an MP3, YouTube has way better compression than SoundCloud, unless it's a 10-year-old YouTube upload. There you go. So yeah, now that we're kind of at the end here, does anybody have any questions? I'm gonna wrap up pretty soon. My voice is starting to kind of give out. What about AAC? I mean, basically, as long as it's not like just fucking 320 MP3, you're fine. But like, even on like if you're like playing, like for example, if I'm on stream or if I'm just playing in VR chat, I don't think about that much, you know? I will play MP3s and it's fine. You can't tell if you're playing through like YouTube will compress the audio anyway. VR chat will probably compress the audio anyway. Streams will probably compress the audio anyway, so like MP3 kind of stuff doesn't matter that much online, but if you're doing it IRL, it absolutely matters. So, yeah, because streaming will compress it to MP3 anyway, so it doesn't matter. Preset soundboard buttons, they're on here. I don't have them set. I don't have my stuff programmed. What's the thing below the music timeline that looks like light controls? That is light stuff, actually. I don't use that, but you can hook up Rekordbox to like light scenes, and this will kind of like help have like the music stuff for when you're doing lights at a show. Ideally, how often should you play an air horn sample? Every time. All the time. Every time, all the time. Here, let's put some music on while we do this. Why is it so fast? Holy shit, hold on. There we go, you just have this on. Yeah, so I think, a good MP3 is still fine, just not the ones you had on your iPod 20 years ago. See, that was my mistake. I had a bunch of old MP3s that were on from my iPod from 20 years ago. I had a bunch of really old shit when I first started. So yeah, I hope you guys kind of like understand everything. I think I went over most of the basics. Obviously, there's a lot to this, as there is with any hobby, but I think the information I told you should be able to get you started. There's a lot of good videos on YouTube on how to like mix better, how to do stuff, right? Yeah, and just honestly, the biggest tip I can kind of give you is just listen to a lot of music. Just if you want to be a DJ, if you want to start DJing, you just kind of have to listen to a lot of music. It's just kind of part of it, you know? No matter what genre you want to DJ, no matter like what you want to do, just listen to a lot of music. And it doesn't have to be anything serious. Like I mentioned, like you can do this with the intent to play in a club or play at a festival one day, or you can do this just for fun, just at home, just for your friends, just to set the vibes at home. This is really fun if you're ever with like IRL friends, right? A typical DJ hangout, right? When a lot of DJs get together, the typical DJ hangout is like somebody will just set up the decks and then everybody takes turns just playing, and you just play music for each other. You just set the vibes for each other. It's like the more advanced version of, you know, passing around the aux cable, right? And yeah, and then if you do want to perform, but you're not really into the IRL performing thing, check out the DJ and the club scene in VR chat. There's a really active underground scene in VR chat, and it's one of the better ways to like perform for an actual audience from the comfort of your own room, right? It is very active. There are like a ton of clubs, venues, artists, tons of stuff. For example, the guy that did some of the official Lane soundtrack back in the day, Wase Chikada, he's a VR chat DJ, and every couple weeks or so, like he does shows in VR chat in a recreation of the Siberia Club, and you can go and listen to him spin. It's fucking awesome. It's super sick. There's a lot of really cool stuff you can find out, and there's a lot of people you can meet through this, right? Like, because at the end of the day, it's like this you're sharing your love of music, right? And you're sharing your self-expression. So you can do a lot. You can get crazy with it. You can make up a crazy DJ name. You can have a crazy DJ aesthetic, right? You can do whatever you want, and it's just a lot of fun. So I hope you take this information and you have fun with it, right? I hope you do something fun with it, and yeah, you could be DJ Dubai Chocolate Labubu if you want. There's a lot of silly DJ names out there. There's a DJ called Aphex Twin Sucks. There's a DJ called DJ School Pizza. There's a DJ called DJ PayPal. There's all sorts of shit, right? There's all sorts of stuff. There's all sorts of stuff, you know? You can pick whatever fucking name you want. Yeah, you can. It's when you start building your identity as an artist, you can get as crazy with it as you want. I have done DJ sets under multiple names, right? I've done DJ sets as Monet. I've done DJ sets under like other names that I've made up. Like just for one set, I've made other names for other stuff. You can do whatever you want. Yeah, you can be like assertive and be a horse girl. Assertive's whole like DJ thing is that he's an Uma Musume. That's his whole thing. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff. And you'll have a lot of fun. As for me, the next show I will be playing, I will be at a party. Oh my god, thank you. On the 9th, I will be playing in Washington DC. Let me bring up the poster. Hold on. I'll be playing a set in Washington DC. Let me bring it up. So if you're in the area for Otakon, check out Akiba Noise. It's going to be like an anime themed party, kind of like Anikura party. It's gonna be featuring some DJs like Nyaruchu, who's gonna be singing. I'll be doing a DJ set. Ava will be singing as well, I believe. It's gonna be really fun. Yeah. So if you're in the East Coast, this is gonna be my first East Coast appearance. if you're going to Otakon or if you're anywhere near Washington D.C., I recommend it. I think it's gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be a blast. Hold on, I need more music. There we go. There we go. Aside from that, I have another show coming up. I'm not sure when. It's not announced yet. But I'll have another VR thing going on soon. And yeah, I would like to do another Tabemono Fest before the end of the year. And the whole point of Tabemono Fest is to have new DJs every time. So if you are interested and you'd like to have a chance to perform, this is your cue to start learning and start practicing. You'd be surprised. If you ever have any questions, we have a section of the Discord in the V4 Midnight Discord called Club Mono. You can talk in there and you can ask questions, things like that. It can be really helpful. And yeah, you just feel free to ask questions or show up to stuff, you know? Yeah. Alright, you guys, I think... Can we send our mixes for review? Yeah, sure, dude. Like, post them, you know, ask us what we think, you know? It's a group activity. This is something you can do with everybody, right? So just enjoy it, have fun. And I hope to see some of you picking up DJ. Like I said, go download Virtual DJ. Go through your music, just practice putting song A and song B together. You don't have to worry about it being super technical or whatever, you know? Just have fun with it. Just have fun with it. That's what matters, you know? What matters is getting everybody on the floor, getting them hyped, or setting a vibe, right? Whatever you want. Yeah, just do it. Just do it. It's surprisingly easier than you think. It has its challenges, right? It's something that can, like, become really complicated if you want it to be. But it's pretty easy to start out. So yeah. Alright, everybody. That is... I think that's kind of it. I think that's kind of it for me. Oh, spooky record box logo. There we go. Record box jump scare. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I hope it was somewhat educational. I hope you learned some things. I learned some things today. I didn't know that thing about the outer rim of the wheel. That's crazy. I didn't know about that. I had no clue about that. I never tried that. I don't touch the wheels very much, so I didn't know. But yeah, try it out. Try it out. That's how you beat match manually. Well, I didn't know. That's how I learned that. There's a no membership shout out. Oh my god. Alright, hold on. Let's give everybody a little bit of a thanks. So first of all, thank you to Shadow of the Hidden Yap Village. Welcome to Monomist. Thank you so much to Shiny Evolution, sorry, for 13 months of Takaramono. Thank you so much to Lavis for joining Takaramono. Big Nanime for joining Monomist and then upgrading to Takaramono. Welcome Fast Dog to Takaramono, as well as Elevator for Takaramono. Thank you Lavis for the $20 super chat. And thank you Geronimo from Monomist. Dippy, thank you so much for 19 months of Takaramono. And NCK, thank you so much for 9 months. Thank you. Thank you so much to anybody that donated or anything. Yeah, I think that's kinda it. Yeah, thank you so much. For those of you that are new, Takaramono tier gives you access to a lot of my members only ASMR, so if that is something you like, check it out. It's something, alright. I will have a new FF7 highlights premiering in about 15 minutes? A little less? So I will see you guys. Sure is something. It's behind the paywall for a reason. Anyway, I will see you guys. Thank you so much. I hope to see some of you guys get started with DJing, and I want to see a lot of you at the next Tabemono Fest. So better get started. I better see you downloading Virtual DJ, get started, and start putting some stuff together. I want to see what kind of vibes you can bring. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody. I will see you next time. I'm gonna raid us into my upload. And yeah, let's go! Bye bye. On screen. Whether you think good, yes, Grizz. Look at me, Takaramono. Let me set up the raid. Hold on.